I've got some good news and some bad news. We're going to be able to use these dimension lines that we have from our floor joists underneath. So that's good news. The bad news is that when I originally made mine, yours might look like mine if you followed along with the other videos. I accidentally made a dimension line for the exterior edge of our floor joists in addition to creating this center dimension line that lines up at the center of our floor joist. You can see that it's 1 inch into our shed, corresponding with this wall stud. So we want these wall studs to land on these dimension lines, but we don't want them to line up with this left edge. We want them to line up with this right edge. So when we're using our move tool to get there, you're going to want to make sure that you move your new wall stud to the second of the 2 dimension lines that we have. So to actually make these useful, what we need to do is we need to add a center line through our wall stud to give us a snap to grid. You're going to choose your white arrow tool and double click that component, and it'll be highlighted with black lines like that. And then we're going to use our measurement tool, our tape measure, and you're going to find the center of the bottom of that wall stud, the midpoint at 1 inch. Click and drag up any distance, doesn't really matter. You'll get a line running horizontally. And then you're going to want to click on the edge and bring your tape measure over to that center so that you can get the line running perpendicularly like that. Why isn't that making a line all the way through the center? There we go. So I got a line running all the way through the center there. I'm going to go ahead and get my white arrow key and get out of that view. And so we're going to make copies of this wall stud all the way across, and we're going to have this center line match up with not the first on the left, but the second on the right of each of these other dimension lines to line up with the floor joist underneath. Okay. So we're going to use our white arrow to select that piece of wood. I'm going to have my orientation kind of set up in this fashion so that I can kind of see which way I'm dragging that wall stud. So I've got my wall stud selected with my white arrow, and I'm going to use the move tool, and you're going to click on this move tool with your control key held down, and you're going to click and drag. I don't have my mouse clicking any longer. I just clicked once, but I'm holding down control. And see that if I move the wall joist, I'll have this black line kind of diagonally, and the wall joist is going way off onto the utility shed somewhere I don't want it to go. But if you hold your mouse so that you get that green axis, which will run parallel to where we originally clicked, that's going to keep the copy of your wall stud running along the sill plate, and it should click into that green line if you got your mouse in the right spot. And then I'm going to line it up with that second of my dimension lines, and then let go and click with my mouse. And now I've got another wall stud lined up 16 inches on center, and it's connected to the top plate and the sill plate. And you're going to do that a number of more times all the way to the end. When you get to the end, you're going to want to make 2 wall studs down here at the corner. So I'll do one more with you just to let you see me do that one more time. All right. Using my white cursor, I'm just going to click here on the grass so there's nothing selected. Then I'm going to click on this wall stud so that the blue line's selecting it. I'm going to grab my move tool, and then just clicking anywhere on the wall stud and holding down control, you're going to click with your mouse and let go. And then you're going to drag your mouse along and trying to keep the cursor parallel to your first click so that you get that green axis. And then once the your center line of the wall stud is lined up with not the first, but the second of the two dimension lines on the bottom, and you can see it kind of snaps there. You can let go of control, and you can click your mouse, and you'll have placed another wall stud onto your wall. And you're going to do that a number of times and duplicate it twice on the end here, and then you should be in good shape.